Grosse Point Blank is a 1997 action, romantic comedy, drama directed by George Armitage.
Yes, so this one stars John Cusack. John Cusack plays a hitman, hitman thing. And he's kind of getting a bit bored of it. He's maybe getting a bit tired and wants to...
And he's making some mistakes as
well. He's making a few mistakes, that's true. He won one of the job kind of goes wrong at the beginning, and another job kind of doesn't go wrong, but someone else turns up, another hitman we'll get onto later. So a job comes up in his hometown at the same time as an invite arrives through the door for a school reunion, 10-year school reunion. So he doesn't want to go because he certainly doesn't want to go back home, as he says. Who does? But his secretary of sorts, played here by his sister in real life, Joan Cusack, she says, "Go, it'll be good for you. You know, go down." Take the job, do the job, and go and see some old friends and whatnot. He's still not convinced, so he goes to see his psychiatrist. He's got a bit of a strange relationship going on with his psychiatrist, because once his psychiatrist found out that he's a hitman, he doesn't really want anything more to do with him. So he wants him out as well. So he says, "Yep, go down to Detroit, go home, and go to school reunion." Although his psychiatrist kind of suggests not to do any killing while he's down there. So off he goes, and he goes down to do a job and visit some old friends. And of course, he bumps into his old flame, played here by Minnie Driver. And he stood her up on prom night 10 years previously. So he's here to think maybe I can, reignite the relationship, see what went wrong. It's kind of it's kind of a redemption tale, isn't it, at the end of the thing? But then, of course, there are other things going on. People want him dead. People want other jobs. So Dan Aykroyd is another hitman who wants to kind of start up a union, but John Cusack obviously wants none of it, because he wants to leave and he's just not into working with other people. So Dan Aykroyd thinks, well, the best thing to do is off him as well. So he sends some spooks down to get rid of him. And so you've got all these different people kind of honing in on the same target. And it's very funny.
It is brilliant. Yeah.
So that's kind of the plot. I mean, if you haven't seen it, God, where have you been for the last 20 years? Because it's such a great movie. It's such a great movie. I mean, we were 20 when this came out, so we're
Talk
kind of
about that.
perfect. That's all right. Perfect age for a film to really, we were into similar music, and that was not our childhood, because of course the school reunion is for '86 and we were a little young at that point. But we grew up with all this kind of stuff, and
being a hitman.
Being a hitman. No, just the kind of... So, obviously this film has a lot of music in it, because of course there's a school reunion, so there's a lot of music, 80s music going on. And that's music that we knew. We grew up through the 80s, so we know a lot of those. It's got a really great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of not your typical 80s music. There's some quite cool stuff in there.
There's some Faith No More in there.
There's some Faith No More in there. The Pogues are in there.
Guns N' Roses' version of Live and Let Die, which is one of my favourite bits, when that transitions into a Muzak version when he goes into the shop.
That's a great bit. But no, you're right, that is a great moment. The soundtrack itself was kind of done by Joe Strummer, and there's a great... Is it War Cry? War Cry? War Child? War Cry? The theme, that main theme tune that kind of runs through the whole film.
I can't remember.
Anyway, it's Joe Strummer, and it's a great kind of great Joe Strummer moment. I mean, it's very of its time, but it's really funny, and it's just really great. I mean,
everyone's likeable in it.
Everybody's likeable in it. I think the relationship between Minnie Driver and John Cusack is really good. They both play it really well, because I really like John Cusack. I'm a big fan of all his films. And I always kind of find he's always kind of playing... It's almost like he's playing himself. No, I mean... So if you go back to the 80s, so films like Say Anything... in fact, this one's kind of like a spiritual sequel to Say Anything, I always thought, because obviously he kickboxes in that.
Yeah.
And his family are in the army. And there's a bit of that kind of going on. And he's that kind of... he always plays that kind of slightly edgy, slightly rebellious, but quite likeable character. So this one, Say Anything, Class, which he's not in much, The Sure Thing. Even Stand By Me, which is in a tiny but amazing role in that. He always kind of plays these I have a feeling, I kind of get the feeling that he's like that in real life, and High Fidelity as well. They're kind of based on his personality, I think, which doesn't take away from, I'm not saying he can't act anything else, because he certainly can, and he has done other things, but a lot of his films, he's always that kind of same, kind of edgy, offbeat, cool kind of person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
a big fan of 2012?
it's not terrible. It's pretty terrible.
Or he escapes
but it's got
certain death in his limo?
But it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
But he makes it better.
He does. He does indeed. Although, actually, one thing that's missing from this film, that's quite a staple John Cusack moment, is him standing in the rain.
No, he doesn't stand in the rain.
Because he stands in the rain and say anything, and in High Fidelity, and a little bit in The Sure Thing, but it's not kind of a personal rain moment. But there's none of that in this.
Perhaps he was just fed up of standing in the rain.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it was, it's obviously the same period as Pulp Fiction, when Tarantino was around and making indie movies cool, and things like 2 Days in the Valley, which we covered, which again, has quite a good soundtrack, and is, even though it's a studio film, it's still feels like an indie pick.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So, I mean, yes. So you're bringing in that kind of cool '90s hitman type thing, which came out a lot, and kind of merging it with the '80s Brat Pack, the '80s high school film, which is taking a school reunion, and then you get to go back in time. Well, not literally back in time, but it's that. So you're able to merge those two kind of styles together, I think. And this is obviously, yes, I mean, the black tie, white shirt, hitman, Pulp Fiction type thing is definitely going on there.
Yeah.
And in fact, so George Armitage, who directed it, I think he started out as kind of an exploitation filmmaker, and I think he knew Tarantino. So there's definitely, I think he actually did a film in the 70s called Hitman. I think it's a black exploitation film. But so he's definitely comes from that school of exploitation cinema. And I think it's cut really well together. It's quite fast cutting. It's quite fast paced, the film. But then, of course, you bring a romantic in there as well, and that works really well too. It's not really anything bad to say about the film.
No, I mean the rest of the cast is really great. You've got Jeremy Piven in there.
Yeah,
you might recognise from Entourage these days.
They went to high school together.
Oh, did they?
He's in lots of John Cusack films. Didn't Say Anything with him and others.
And there's a few other familiar faces. Michael Cudlitz has a small role in it, who was obviously in Walking Dead. Well, he was in Walking Dead, not anymore. And Band of Brothers and Running Scared that we covered a few weeks ago.
Yes, he was in that a little bit.
He was in that briefly.
Yeah.
And we mentioned Dan Aykroyd earlier, and this is one of my favourite Dan Aykroyd roles.
Really?
He's not in it a huge amount, but he's just brilliant. Every scene he's in, I think he steals it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hilarious.
And of course, I don't even we mentioned the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is played by Alan Arkin, who is, I mean, he's hilarious. I don't know if, I mean, you will probably know him. He's Catch-22 he was in, and The Russians Are Coming, which is amazing. I mean, really funny. And I really actually love those scenes. Well, there's not many. There's one actual scene between him and John Cusack in the office. And it's a very funny line where he kind of says, John Cusack says, "I know where you live." And it's just hysterical.
Yeah.
Really great moment. And just those two together, and then there's all the phone conversations between the two of them as well. Because Alan Arkin is he's quite famous for being very dry.
Yeah.
It's a very dry comedy that he does. Hank Azaria is in there with as a K. Todd Freeman. So they're like the two spooks.
Yep.
And they've got some great lines too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of some great lines in the film.
Quite quotable.
It's very quotable, definitely. I mean, Minnie Driver. So Minnie Driver, actually, we haven't really spoken about her.
No.
She's the love interest. She's the girlfriend. She still lives in
Grosse Point.
Grosse Point,
which is where the film gets its name from, and obviously the blank is
Martin Blank.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, Minnie Driver is the love interest, John Cusack's love interest, and she plays a radio DJ. So of course that's a nice way to get in music to the film, and it's how they kind of the first time they see each other again. And she's great as well. I mean, obviously she's British, but she's playing American here. I don't actually know too much of her British work. I think she was in Circle of Friends, which is in the Irish film. But I think she went quite quickly to America because she was in Sleepers, which was a couple of years before, and kind of since then she's done a lot. And she has done British stuff. I mean, she may well have turned up in The Bill, maybe. A lot of
British
actors
haven't.
Well, it's a good school for actors to get a leg up. But so I think she did a bit of TV, and then she went kind of straight over to America.
She's in Goldeneye very briefly.
Oh, is she in that? Okay, don't remember that at all. Obviously, she's in Good Will Hunting. Mm-hmm. But no, she's really great. And like I said before, I think the relationship between her and John Cusack is really. It's just great. They do it. They play it really well, and you believe she was stood up by him.
Yeah.
10 years previously.
They have good chemistry.
Great chemistry. So you can see it, obviously.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, DVD's readily available.
Great.
No extras on it, as usual. I mean, a bit pathetic.
Is there a Blu-ray of it?
There is, but
not a decent one.
No, I mean it's a bit. I think they build it as like an anniversary edition, but don't actually do anything to the disc to make it worthy of that. It's just to fool you into buying. Oh, that's a new edition. I must get that. Oh, look, it's got nothing on it except the film. What a waste of time. So yeah, I haven't upgraded because I'm waiting for someone somewhere to do something nice with it.
You never know.
But whether that day will ever come, who knows? But no, the DVD is perfectly watchable, and easy to pick up. So check it out if you haven't seen it.
Well, yeah, chances are if you've seen it, you've got it, and you know exactly what we're talking about. But if you haven't, and you are coming to our channel to find some new stuff that you don't know, then it's easy to track down.
Yep,
definitely, and worth it.
Definitely, I think it's possibly my top 10. I don't know, maybe.
Top
20, definitely.
It's a great film, and it's one that I've seen it a lot. I've seen this film a lot of times, kind of once a year. It's at least once a year film for me, which doesn't sound a lot, but when there's so many films to watch, that's pretty good. It's very, very funny. It's sharp wit, very witty, which is something else you don't get so much nowadays. Good witty humour, and it's good. Good action. Very funny. Oh, and we forgot to mention the other guy. Is he Russian? John Cusack's kickboxing teacher.
Yes.
What's his name?
His character is Felix Lapoubelle.
Great. Yeah, I knew you wanted to say that.
Yes. Thanks.
That's the character name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in real life he is actually John Cusack's kickboxing teacher.
Yeah. I mean, he's a stunt coordinator. He's been a stunt coordinator and stuff on loads of films.
And there's a really great scene between the two of them, actually, which is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to watch it to find
Very
out.
well choreographed.
Very well choreographed. Good fun. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That was Grosse Point Blank, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you've seen it. We have a conversation with you. We'd love to know what you think of it. I'm sure you love it. If you don't, well what's wrong with you? Can't help you, exactly. But yeah, leave a comment or do some other things.
Subscribe and go on Facebook and Twitter. Check us out on there.
Thanks for watching.
Indeed. And we'll
see
you soon for another one.